Hi, this is Mantu, author of The Resilient Parent, Everyday Wisdom for Life with Your Exceptional Child. I just finished off drop off this morning at school and things went without a hitch, which I'm awfully glad about. And it also seemed like the perfect time while I am kid-free for just a moment to talk with you about our topic this week. This week we're talking about giving grace to your partner first. And I think it's probably one of the most important chapters in the book. The reason being that we have so much pressure on us. I think families in general these days, especially people who have kids with special needs, there's something about the amount of pressure. I'm not sure exactly what it is, whether it's the extra drop-offs and pickups, if it's just the emotional trauma, if it's the way that you stick out as a family. What I do know is that most data shows that we have a 50% higher likelihood of divorce. And we also, if your child happens to have certain diagnoses, especially diagnoses that are impossible for people to see, invisible disabilities, as it were, it can be a lot more. I've heard one statistic for people who have children with reactive attachment disorder, for instance, being as high as 90% divorce rate. Huge amount of pressure on our relationships. And with so much emphasis on our children or on your child, it can get really easy to forget, hey, that other person or other people in your life, depending on what your situation is, that are closest to you. And especially if you have a spouse or a partner, they can be put on the end of the list. And so putting them first, a lot of us will try to do a date night. We did actually before kids, we had a date night every week. We were feeling pretty good about ourselves. Did that for almost 11 years. And then we had kids. And then we had another kid, and date night became shredded. I mean, just, it fell apart. And all it took was for the babysitter to say, I can't come, I'm sick, or one of us to have an issue, or one of the kids to be sick, or any number of things could come up, and date night would be sidelined. Even when we did have date night, we were constantly checking to make sure that there weren't any problems with the babysitter, because there's so many issues coming up with the kids. And date night was just something that slowly fell out of our regular schedule. And as we could feel pressure on our relationship growing, as things became strained, began to realize that the only way for us to keep our relationship, our primary relationship, intact was to do something not just once a week, but literally every day. Because when you have a relationship with this much pressure on it, you need to tend to it every day. And I'm not talking about going on a full-on date or anything like that. I'm just saying something small, sitting down with each other and listening to some piece of music that you like, or dancing in front of the fireplace for a minute and a half. Just coming up and reading a quick line of poetry. I mean, it could be cheesy, or it could just be a quick bear hug and saying, I so appreciate you, and I'm so glad you're in my life. There's something about doing that daily, every day, that changes the tone of the whole relationship. You know how it goes. Relationships, it can start off with, can you watch the kid for a while so I can have some me time? And then you're saying, wait, you just had that. Now it's my turn. And it can become a competition really fast, and that partnership can begin to erode. Or if you have a child with some behavioral issues, they can actually start to intentionally divide the two of you up. And so you've got to have your arsenal of things that you can do every day. And at the very least, if everything falls down the tubes, consider just telling yourself, I need to give grace to my partner first today. Whatever happens today, it doesn't matter as long as I give them grace first. Even if I feel like they've wronged me, it's my job to give to my partner first. And I guarantee you, if you do that, things are going to change. I have sat down for hours, countless hours, in premarital counseling as a minister. And I can tell you that people really have no idea what it takes. I think so many of you do know what it takes to hold a relationship together for the long haul. You know what you need to do. You have all the normal pressures of dealing with finances and beliefs around family systems and all kinds of things that normal families, typical families have. And yet you also have this other stress. And so take it seriously and give that person grace, and you will see your life beginning to come back together. Your relationship will hopefully find healing if it needs it in certain places. And you will find yourself gaining that strength, that inner strength that you didn't know you had. Having a partner who is connected to you, it changes the whole game plan. So if you can hold that partnership intact, and if you're not partnered right now, your support system intact can make all the difference, whoever that is. Shanti.